It's crazy that it's only been a week since the last time we were on the air, Tony, because it feels like it's been an eternity, a painful, painful eternity.
San Diego Chargers are fortunate to have Lance Allworth.
On blue, ready?
Don Coryell.
Hello, history books.
Touchdown, San Diego! Woo!
There's nothing more painful than to blow a team out and still lose.
I'm still pissed. I have not recovered from Thursday Night Football. I am tired of arguing with people who love analytics. You can take your analytics and you can stuff them in a sack. They don't work. They never work. It's not effective in baseball or basketball or whatever else. You have to rely on transcending players. I don't care. Well, look what Steph Curry does with the three, and they won championships. And well, look what this team does with that. It's every time somebody points to analytics, they then talk about a generational talent being on the team. Well, if you take generational talent and mix it with analytics, then yes, you're probably going to win the argument. You got to kick at least a couple of those field goals in that football game. You got to at least extend it to 2-score games or forcing them to score touchdowns at some point. And then for Brandon Staley to get to the microphone and go, oh, this is who we are and this is how we're going to play. And I don't apologize for that. Congratulations on being super arrogant in your first year, acting like you have solved how to win in the NFL. Then when you look at what is the most successful thing is the adaptability and the unpredictability of guys like Bill Belichick, of the people who are consistently winning games in the NFL. John Harbaugh's ability to adapt when he's lost 65% of his payroll to season-ending injuries, and the guy's still winning football games with a quarterback who might not be as good as his backup. Like, I lose my mind when I think about the fact that, like, we were hammering them and we were playing like they were the 2019 Chiefs, not the team that can only score points when they play the freaking Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, I agree. I agree for the most part. I'm trying to remain positive. Hopefully it takes as a learning lesson, but like you said, in the post-game press conference, he said they're going to continue on with it. We talked about it earlier in the year, how we were getting a little bit lucky. Maybe just, the players were executing the plays and converting on fourth downs, but a little bit lucky that things didn't go wrong. We saw what could go wrong. The guy falls on the ground, knocks his head, and drops the ball. He caught the touchdown pass on fourth down. Jared Cook drops the ball. Josh Kelly fumbles on the goal line. We see where you can get unlucky when you're trying to be risky with that fourth down conversion and how it can all go completely wrong. In this game, the Chargers defense, in the beginning of the game especially, was not being walked through. You were at a point in the game, especially early on, where those 3 points should have been a no-brainer to just go ahead and take them. And if you are going to go for it on fourth down on the goal line like that, I better see Justin Herbert running someone over to get into the end zone. I better not see Josh Kelly touching the ball or, prayers up to Donald Parham. I don't want the ball in Parham's hands on fourth and goal against the Kansas City Chiefs with the division on the line. I don't want it targeting towards him. So, it's painful because, like I said, I'm trying to stay positive about it because I love how this year has gone so far. I think it's a huge improvement from previous Chargers, but is it more because of Justin Herbert or because of Staley? That's a question that's creeping into our mind right now.
No, it's not a question that's crept into my mind at all, and it's Justin Herbert 1,000%. The fact that he has receivers who continually drop passes, touchdown passes at that, like Justin Herbert should be sitting somewhere around 42 touchdowns this year. And that's even if they dropped a couple of the end zone catches they had. There's a play late in the game that it's across the middle on the run. Palmer has to adjust to the ball and Herbert fires a freaking rocket and Palmer doesn't even flinch.
Yeah.
Joshua Palmer needs to be a starter on this team next year. He should be a starter on the team for the rest of the remaining year. But I realize that Staley's going to defer to Mike Williams. That's fine. Not if I was coach. If I was coach, I'd be like, Mike, you're still going to get out there about 50% of the snaps of the game, but we aren't going to you inside the 5 because I'm tired of watching you drop slant touchdowns. I'm tired of I don't want to see it anymore. Every time Mike has a big game and I'm like, oh, this is what it is. If you look at it, it's really on contested footballs. It's not on these hot slant routes that are going through his hands. So give me a break with all that nonsense. Guyton had another good game. I'm fine with him. I don't love him. Palmer's still better to me. And he's a rookie. If he's making mistakes, I'm fine with him getting these reps as a rookie and making the mistakes. Not a 5th-year veteran who's going to get he's going to get paid this offseason. Somebody's going to give that guy money somewhere.
100%. 100%. We're going to see it. Just really painful, that game, because the Chargers, they should have swept the Chiefs on that Thursday night football. That's probably why it feels like it's been so long, because the game was a Thursday night football game. When you just think about the final score and how it had to go to overtime and how, the Chiefs had to do the Chiefs things that they freaking do in overtime, despite the Chargers failing on 4 fourth-down conversions that could have been 3 points apiece, despite Jared Cook dropping an easy touchdown pass, despite Josh Kelly fumbling on the 1-yard line, and despite Donald Parham dropping a touchdown pass, despite losing Derwin James in the first quarter of the game for the rest of the game, and you got guys like Trey Marshall and Tavon Campbell trying to chase down George Kittle and Tyreek Hill. Despite all of that, this team still should have won the game. That just goes to show how good this Chargers roster actually is. And if the coaching is on and the players are on, we can beat any team in the league right now. I'm very confident in it.
And the offensive line, how do you do that to your offensive line? They play without the Pro Bowl, which we'll probably get to that, right? They play without their rookie standout, Rashawn Slater. And the offensive line was fantastic in the run game and in the passing game. And you're not rewarding the offense with any points on those drives because this is how we play football. Okay, that's fine. But how about we get something out of that? We don't reward Roberts with the great kickoff return, right? Yes, he stumbled and he probably should have housed that or whatever. But even you have to get something out of that on an opening drive and say oh, guys, we haven't even gotten our offense going yet, and we're scoring on the Chiefs right now. The building was electric for the Chargers, and you squandered that a legit home game. My brother-in-law Drew was there. He's like, dude, this place is erupting. He's letting me know, we are here. It is powder blue, and they are insane right now for this. And then they just walk away with an L.
Freaking Kelsey, man. Freaking Kelsey. Yeah, I forgot about the Roberts trip and fall, too. That was another part of it. You just got to take 3 there. There was a point where we were down 10-0 in this game, and I was sitting there thinking we should be up 14-0. And then we went on a 21-0 run or 28-0 run, and I was like, okay, we're kicking their ass in this game. This game should be 35-0 damn near.
Yeah.
So painful. I watched with all my friends. I was on vacation in Florida, so all my old military friends were there. My buddy from high school was there, and they all got to laugh at me. It hurt. Especially when Travis Kelce did his thing. On that last drive when they won the coin toss, I was like, I don't know, man. I feel like the defense has done enough tonight. I don't know how much more they can do. We needed a mistake by Mahomes. We needed one of those mistakes that he makes in that situation.
We got to mistake. He did not play well until the fourth quarter, and our defense was gassed. That was the bottom line. And there's a lot of positive things we could talk about. Nwosu, how well he played. Kazir White played really well. Campbell played well. Tillery was very good again, right?
Up and down, right? Every week, you don't know which Tillery you're getting.
I don't know, but if we got more of that Tillery, it'd be amazing. Still, we got freaking Kenneth Murray made the poster because he looks really good in his uniform. He looks really good in that powder blue. Be like this. We're the Chargers, right? You might want to make some plays, my friend, because every time you're out there, I'm like, oh, look at this guy, and they block him with tight ends. I was like, is he being blocked by the backup tight end right now? This is pathetic. You got to get two things real quick. One, if you are playing fantasy football, do not text your friend who's a fan of the team like, oh man, I'm so thankful for Travis Kelce while he's watching the game. Don't ever do like that is like the douchiest thing you could do to. I don't give a shit about your fantasy team, first of all, but especially not when Travis Kelce is balls deep in my favorite team and I'm trying to watch the game. So lastly, Charger fans, we can't set the bar at Brandon Staley is better than Anthony Lynn, so at least we have that going for us. I don't like that attitude. I don't like it's like, oh, well, he at least he manages the game well. But can't we ask for more? Like the coach who's just like, I like Brandon Staley. I love his press conferences. I love the speeches he gives. He's so great. But this stubbornness with the going for it all the time, it can't be sustained. And nobody can prove to me where it's been beneficial to us on a regular basis. It is not the reason that the team has a winning record and a shot at the playoffs. That is not the reason. If anything, I would say it's more a detriment to the fact that the team isn't leading the division, isn't ahead in the AFC West. I can make a stronger argument for that.
Yep, and we're going to need to figure that out going forward. I'm sure Staley's going to get 2 or 3 years at the very minimum, so it's just got to be a learning lesson. There's time and place to go for it. If you're in an absolute shootout with the Kansas City Chiefs and you're getting ran through on defense, okay, I like the call to go for it on 4th and 2 over going for the field goal. But if it's early on in the game, you don't know how the game is going to go the rest of the way, and your defense is playing good in that first half, just get the points, start building a lead. Because you know damn well a team like the Kansas City Chiefs in the 4th quarter, that's when they do it. That's what I've been preaching forever with the Buccaneers and the Chiefs. Never count them out of a game because they're the best in the 3rd and 4th quarter when you're exhausted. They have so many weapons that they can throw at you over and over and over again. Boom, it's Tyreek Hill. Boom, Travis Kelce. Oh, no, Patrick Mahomes on the run. Oh, man, now CEH has the ball. The offensive line is solid. Like, late in the game, your defense is going to break down if you don't have an elite defense. So you got to pile up the points early. Any last words, Tony? Hope for the best.
I'm ready for the Houston Texans. I'm ready to talk about Houston Texans football.
I am also ready to talk about that. But first, talk about something a little bit more positive. The Chargers are sending 7 players to the Pro Bowl this year, which I think is tied for the most in the league. Or I think 6 players to the Pro Bowl. 6 players to the Pro Bowl. Second most in the league. The Colts are sending 7. Our center, Corey Linsley, goes, which is awesome because he got the nod over Creed Humphrey in Kansas City. So that's fun to see that the Chargers guy won over him. Derwin James obviously makes the Pro Bowl. Is probably going to be in the conversation for Comeback Player of the Year. Let's see how QB biased that award is. Justin Herbert, obviously one of the best QBs in the league this year. I saw some people upset that Lamar Jackson made it over Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. But bad news to all you Joe Burrow fans. Even if Lamar Jackson doesn't make it, it's going to be Josh Allen. Joe Burrow ain't getting in over Herbert, I'll tell you that much. Keenan Allen, that one's a little bit questionable. He only has 1,000 yards this year, but he's having another Keenan Allen-like year, probably going to have 100 catches. Joey Bosa, who's been really good the last couple of weeks, good all year, but really making his impact as far as sacks and stopping the run this last couple of weeks. He sneaks in, and then my favorite, a guy who is getting talks to be an all-pro in his first year as a rookie, Rashawn Slater makes the Pro Bowl, Tony. Super hyped about that one. How you feel about all these guys making the Pro Bowl? Chargers, second most in the league.
Well, it's well-deserved, and it just goes to show you the balance, right, of where it is. It isn't just like, oh, it's Eckler and Keenan and Herbert, where it's like, oh, this offense is just dynamic. Like, it's on all levels. The offensive line with Linsley and Slater. Slater comes back and continues to perform these final 3 weeks like he has, not giving up sacks. I could definitely see an all-pro vote there. Yeah, and Justin Herbert, this needs to be a mainstay for him. It needs to be him and Patrick Mahomes doing battle for 12 to 15 years, and these two torturing each other's franchises. That's really what is going to take place. Although in the offseason, Mike, I would like to bring up a potential realignment to not only make football better, but to enhance the careers of Herbert and Patrick Mahomes. So that's something we can do this offseason of how they should realign the divisions, which would make things better. So it's not my original idea. It is enhanced. My brother-in-law brought it up on one of my old shows last year. But I'm going to do a better version of what he did.
Some division tweaks. I like that. And that's the think about. We have 6 guys in the Pro Bowl, even though I think Eckler may have gotten snubbed a little bit.
Sure. I'm with that.
People are quiet about it. He's got 1,500 all-purpose yards and I think 12 touchdowns or something total, which is high. Which is amazing. Alvin Kamara like stuff.
But I would assume, like, so who else made it over him? Taylor, obviously.
Henry.
Derrick Henry. And then who's the third?
I'm not sure who the third is for running backs, honestly.
Yeah, so it could have been Joe Mixon has also had a pretty nice year. You want to get some Bengals representation in there. Like,
I think it is Joe Mixon, actually. You want to hear something crazy? Kaiser White finished in the top 5 amongst linebackers.
He's the guy that I was going to say. I think that
Denzel Perryman got it.
If there's an alternate, he should be considered because he's done nothing but just play sensational football all year. And this guy is a find, a steal. Like, he really is going to improve and get so much better. And if they can bring in this offseason Akeem Hicks from Chicago, like, he's my number one half. Like, I want him so badly this offseason. He's only got about a year and a half left. But if you could put him next to what's left of Linval Joseph and maybe even Justin Jones, and you're rotating those 3 out with like some of those other younger guys who've been nice, but they're in their first or second year. Allow them to and you could have 5 or 6 really nice guys in the middle. It's going to allow Kaiser White and Derwin James and even Nwosu at certain points to just be able to run free and make tackles. And hopefully Kenneth Murray figure out something with, he's too good and too athletic to not be I don't understand how he's not a defensive weapon on the field. He should be.
He's got to figure it out. And he's in this tween stage if he's rushing off the edge or playing in the middle of the field, and he can't do either at an NFL level right now. So he's got to figure it out. This guy is way too gifted to continue to live life the way he's living in the NFL. But yeah, Kaiser White is a revelation. Huge year for him. And I can see him being a 100-tackle guy from here on out, which would be awesome. Yeah, absolutely awesome. Reminds me a little bit of a guy that broke out a couple years ago for us, Jatavius Brown, who's just stacking up tackles, just tackling everybody. He ain't really had the career that I thought he was going to have, but similar breakout. I'm pumped. Pumped for Kaiser because we need a linebacker really bad. So to get it from within, that's a huge, huge help going into this offseason.
And it's not even like he's making a lot of these plays just out of desperation. The Chargers are getting hammered. They're 4-11 right now, and they're always on defense. He's making these plays behind one of the best offenses in football. Where Chargers are pretty good with time of possession in a lot of games, and he's still getting out there, and it's he's just a machine. I love watching him play.
He really is. He really is. All right. Chargers Pro Bowlers. Love to see it. It seems like we send a bunch every single year. You just never can get ourselves any postseason success. Here is the injury report. Before we get into the injury report, I'll read off the list of guys we have out because of COVID. Joey Bosa, Corey Linsley, Chris Rumpf, Tavon Campbell, Kamon Hall, Trey Marshall, and Andre Roberts, which is basically a little sprinkle of someone everywhere is missing. And then Austin Eckler obviously was added to that list later in the week. So we're missing running backs, we're missing cornerbacks, we're missing edge rushers, we're missing offensive linemen. Slater is supposed to come back, though, I believe, on the bright side. Upset about it. What can we do, though? Right, Tony?
No, there's nothing that can be done.
The only thing that we can do is just be thankful it happened against the Texans and not the Chiefs. Although you never want it to happen.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, though.
Yeah. Here is the injury report. We got Derwin James on here with the hamstring injury. He has not practiced all week this week. Very concerning considering he wasn't able to complete the game against the Chiefs, and he missed the previous game due to this hamstring injury. Derwin James, man, we need you out there this week, especially with Trey Marshall out. Who's going to play safety if Alohi Gilman, Derwin James, Trey Marshall are all out? We don't have another guy. They're going to have to pull up a practice squad guy, which is not fun. Or make the move we've all been demanding for and send Chris Harris's ass all the way back to the deep middle field. All right, let's do that. But anyways, also Linval Joseph, who has been dealing with a shoulder injury the last couple of weeks. He's been full this week, so looks like he's good to go. Parham with a concussion, not going to play this week. Asante Samuel, full practices. He did not play in that Chiefs game. There was a chance he was going to. It's looking like he's returning to the lineup, which will relieve, missing Tavon Campbell and Kamon Hall, the guys who would normally play in his place when he was injured. Chris Conley for the Texans, he's dealing with a knee injury, but he's with full practice, so he should be good to go. David Johnson, not too worried about him. He's been down with a quad injury anyways. Brevin Jordan, one of their weapons at the tight end position, he's had a hand injury, but he's been in full practice. Justin Reed, probably their best cornerback / nickel corner, had a concussion, but he's been in full practice, and we won't even really – there's not much to talk about Deshaun Watson. He ain't playing. But, yeah, that's the injury report. As far as injuries go, it's pretty minimal other than Derwin James. He's the biggest one on here for both teams combined.
Yeah, I think Parham is down, and I think this gives an opportunity to show the athleticism and ability of Trey McKitty, right? I think that opens up because you're not going to put Steven Anderson in that role. Although he is sort of sneaky athletic, he's not quite as quick as either of those other two guys, as McKitty or Parham. So, and I think you're not going to necessarily get the attention to McKitty that you would as for Steven Anderson. Derwin James, I would not play him. I still would not play Asante Samuel because we have the big game at home against the Broncos. To be honest with you, I'm not even sure I would play Derwin James in that game either. I would then, because I honestly think these final 3 games, I'm fine with saying, hey, Herbert, your defense and your offense is going to play short man, and you have to play perfect football. Put that pressure on him that says you have to play perfect football, because at some point in his career, he's going to be demanding 45% of the team's salary, and he's going to be in situations like that where they not that they don't have, that the talent is injured, that they can't afford to pay the talent to stay there, and he's going to need to be in those. It's kind of like the Russell Wilson conundrum, right? Like Russell wasn't having to do this early on in his career because he had a Super Bowl level defense, right? Yeah. I don't think our defense is at that level. Let me just take that back. Our defense is not anywhere near the Legion of Boom. Like, I don't want to be anybody mistaken. Like, did he kind of? No. Herbert needs this moment where they say, hey, you have to play perfect. There can be no turnovers. There can be no missed reads. There can be no anything. You need to play 3 games in a row of perfect football and bring us to the playoffs that way. Yeah. Because if we make it to the playoffs, how nice would it be to have fully healthy Asante Samuel, fully healthy Derwin James? And not only that, they're champing at the bit to get out there. They're like, let me go, coach. I might be a little rusty for the first quarter against whoever we're playing, the Titans in the first round, but let me out, and I'm going to chew somebody's leg off. Just full Dan Campbell.
Motor City Dan.
Yeah, I love that.
Getting on a little bit of a winning streak. I think 2-1 the last 3 weeks or something.
Yeah, I mean, well, I won't say that. That would not be kind. Congratulations to the Lions.
Congrats on your victories. You're just getting yourself out of a high draft pick at this point. Better late than never, though, right?
Yeah, I think it's good for morale that they're winning games. And to be honest with you, the Lions are really headed in a good direction, Mike. Like, if you look at, they've been stacking draft picks and they're stacking talent. Like, Aaron Rodgers leaves that division. I mean, I'm not saying that they're going to be leaders, but having some winning seasons coming up for the Lions, it's not out of the realm of possibility in 2023, 2024 that they put back-to-back double-digit win seasons together. Like, DeAndre Swift is healthy, maybe they add a wide receiver to pair next to Amon-Ra St. Brown, all of a sudden, who knows what they got? Cook Hawkinson looks nice. They have 3 Pro Bowl players on their offensive line because they drafted Penei Sewell smartly. Maybe they add another guard in there. I'm just saying the Lions.
It's all about continuing to improve every single year. That's the problem with like franchises like the Jets, like the Browns in the past, like the Lions. The way the Browns got out of that whole problem was they just continued, like you said, to stack. The Lions have to continue to move in a positive direction. What's going to happen, though, is they're going to have a top 3 pick, and they're going to pick a complete bust, and it's going to send them all the way back to day one.
If the
players are going to leave in free agency, and that's
I said this on a show that I did. I said if the Lions will prove to me that they're definitely in the right direction, if they take their top 1, 2, or 3 pick and they trade back and they get multiple first-round picks, then I will know for sure that whoever is running the Lions is like, oh, I figured it out. I know what the sauce is. I don't have my identified lock. I'm moving back, and I'm going to add picks, and I'm going to add talent for our coaching staff to be able to utilize. Because what's better than maybe 1 first round, 2 or 3 picks in the first round, and then you're like, oh, one of these guys is going to hit, or I'm fired. I should be fired.
You're not the quarterback away right now. Continue to build the team until you find the perfect quarterback, and you're a quarterback away. Let Jared Goff continue to try. I'm sure that he can still, go and win 4 or 5 games a year.
I'll say this about Jared Goff. Like, he's a starting quarterback in the NFL. He's not the starting quarterback I want. Don't get me wrong. But he's a starting quarterback in the NFL. Right now, he's still a top 32 player in this league at that position, I think.
That's the – I don't even know if that's a compliment. You're at least top 32, Goff.
Well, we said that about Cam, and nobody took it as an insult. Like, everybody was like, he's a top 32. The guy can't even win a football game. All I heard was Cam is back. Cam is back. Cam hasn't won a freaking game since he's been back.
I don't have any comment on that.
Yeah. Jared Goff has won 2 games and tied another. So
Jared Goff season.
Yeah, it's Goff season. He beat the freaking Cardinals.
Anyways, we're in the Goff stand here. Predictions for this Texans game.
I believe when we were going over the injury report, I forgot to say this. I believe they are without Brandon Cooks because of COVID, which I think hampers them a little bit. Another reason that I would not start Asante Samuel. Michael Davis continuing to just floor me. I love Vato so much. Like, he dominates. I'm going big, Mike. I'm going 38-13.
That's easy. 38-13. I'm down for it. I'm going to go ahead and add a field goal to that just because I need to see more field goals go through from Hopkins this week. 41-13 was my score.
There it is.
So when I say wavelength, I think if we do give up 13, it's going to be 2 field goals and maybe someone breaks a run or something, or something wild happens and they get a touchdown. But their offense is nothing. They don't have their 2 best receivers. They don't have their best tight end. They don't have David Johnson. Like, what's Davis Mills going to do? Nothing. What he's been doing.
Yeah, you just reminded me of another rant I wanted to go on, but I will save it. It's about Josh Kelly and
my gosh. He's done, dude. That was the worst fumble. And also, did you notice in the fumble, and have you seen the video circulating the internet, that he was wearing an ankle bracelet, which means he's in trouble also off the field? Like, cut Josh Kelly. I don't usually root for players to get cut like that, but cut Josh Kelly at this point. Cut him.
Wait, there's video showing that he's wearing like
under his sock. You can see the ankle bracelet. You see the little red light flash on that play where he fumbles.
I think that wouldn't there be some sort of like, can't you get that thing removed by league officials or something? Like, couldn't you say like, hey,
well, what is he wearing then? It's not a fucking Spider-Man technology or anything because he ain't doing any better.
He's definitely not. I don't know. If that is the case, then I'm looking for any reason to cut him. But this is what I want to say. Why would you put that young man in a position at that time of the game when you have Austin Eckler, who had been being saved, who is money inside the 5-yard line, Why would you put him in the game? And Staley goes, well, it was third down. We don't teach that kind of like not protecting the football. It's like, no, Staley, you can't hide behind the young man made a mistake because whoever decided to put him in, you have to know that even if that kid's thinking, well, I have to score this, or coach is going to go for it again on fourth down, or I have to score this because I want the clout on social media, or I want to do this touchdown dance. I haven't scored all year. I want to, I want to impress my probation officer, apparently. Whatever he's thinking is not the right thing because he's young and he's an idiot.
What is this backwards reach? Like, geez, man, just hold the ball. You can go ahead and try and jump over the pile if you fucking want to. Hold on to the ball. Our quarterback is 6'6", 240 pounds. QB sneak. If we're ever on the 1 yard line, we have 4 plays from the 1 yard line again. QB sneak better be called the very first play.
I'd be happier if he gave the ball to Linval Joseph on an up back handoff.
Fullback
If
handoff.
Yeah, if they went for like the old school refrigerator Perry from the Bears, if they went that route with their nose tackle.
Neighbors? Where's Neighbors been? He's on the sideline. I've been looking for Neighbors.
He made a catch in the last game, and I was like, you know what? This guy's sneaky athletic, and we don't use him enough.
He is. You could put him in there, show that you're going to hand off to Kelly and give him the fullback dive. I promise you he gets a yard. That dude's big, strong.
Yeah. We don't use him enough. That's something I'm going to campaign for this offseason.
Anyways, we hate the Chargers, but we're going to beat the Texans this weekend. Bolt up.
They break my heart, Mike. They break my freaking heart, and they better destroy the Texans this weekend. I'm going to watch every moment of the game, and it better just be nonstop. Defense better make Davis Mills' life miserable. Everybody. Nwosu, Tillery. I want the young guys getting in there. I want Rumpf. Rumpf isn't even freaking playing right now. I'm like, the guy had a great game 2 weeks ago, and then he's just standing on the sidelines, adjusting his jock. I'm like, come on. Put him in the game, coach. 38-13. Bolt up.
Nwosu's coming for him, too. Get them all out there. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, everyone. If you made it to this point in the video, please subscribe, like this video, turn on notifications, and watch the Chargers win out and go all the way to the Super Bowl this year.
San Diego Chargers are fortunate to have Lance